Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very emotional Zero Fucks Given podcast. This is episode 32, and I'm alongside my beautiful co-host, Cole Stoner, Amari Hall, Key Morbid, John Rucker, Nathaniel Faber, and V-Tech. Earlier today, we all found out that all of our idol, or I'm going to speak for me when I say at least one of my idols, the American Dream, baby, Dusty Rhodes, passed away at the age of 69, and it was kind of funny in a way, because last night when I went to bed, I was listening to the Hard Times promo, and then I wake up to find out Dusty Rhodes passed away. All you guys share a fond memory of Dusty Rhodes, and we will be able to continue on with this beautiful podcast.
I would like to say something real quick.
Go ahead, John.
This episode might not as well be called for citizenship only 0 F's given, because there is a lot of it to give. So
There's
today,
a lot of fucks
there will be a lot of F's given. Honestly, I didn't start growing up with wrestling until I was about 9 or 10 years old. And I remember when a friend of mine had introduced me to wrestling. Like I said before, it was with WWF at the time, and my dad had learned or discovered that I was watching, and he was telling me about so many amazing pioneers way before WWF was ever made.
It's back in like Mid-Atlantic and shit, right?
Yeah, he said it was back when Georgia Championship Wrestling was really big. I mean, when everything was just independent promotion.
Back when Vince McMahon Sr. was running shit.
Yeah, I mean, he told me pretty much back then every wrestling company wasn't a mastodon. It was just an independent promotional company, and usually your big stars would have a contract, and the ones that really didn't matter would get paid just by whatever they can get paid by. And he would tell me, the first one he would tell me about would be Ric Flair, and then the next one after that, which kind of ironic, Connor, from what you and I was just reading about, from what Ric Flair was saying about Dusty, he talked about Dusty as well. And everything he told me completely baffled my mind. And I'll have to say this, if Bubba Ray, Bully Ray, whatever you want to call him nowadays, if he was really smart on Twitter, which he probably did, I don't know, he should completely say, if it wasn't for Dusty,
big guys like him and Owens wouldn't have made it.
Well, no. If it wasn't for Dusty's bionic elbow, he would have never done that.
Yeah, he was a big fan of Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah, and that's why I said he pretty much adopted that bionic elbow from Dusty. So I gotta admit, if he was smart enough to do that, he would dedicate that move straight over to Dusty.
He should. Tech, are you here?
Of course not.
Yeah, tell us about a fond memory about the American Dream, baby.
So, most people know that, I actually don't like the whole Attitude Era, like that whole era. I actually don't like it that much. I'm gonna go heel for a second. You know, I loved what Dusty was doing over in WCW and all that. It does seem odd if you really think about it, how he would be in WCW and his son would be in WWF at the time. But I like Dusty more when he was doing the whole thing with Randy Orton, when Randy Orton was doing the Legend Killer.
Oh,
and he had this amazing Texas Bull Rope match with him. Holy crap. It was beautiful. It was at Great American Bash 2007. Beautiful. I recommend it to everyone. One of the greatest Dusty Rhodes matches of all time. There's better ones, of course, but I liked more of his recent stuff during the Ruthless Aggression, or I guess you could say it was.
Stoner.
Yeah?
Me and you've never really talked about Dusty Rhodes. I don't know how fond you are of Dusty Rhodes, but share a fond memory of the American Dream, baby.
Well, Dusty. Well, whenever I heard of Dusty, I automatically came to mind of Goldust, but I've seen a couple of old matches, and the best matches I have ever seen from Dusty Rhodes was a cage match between Dusty and Barry Windham.
Oh, God.
Very, very bloody event. But nonetheless, it showed that even Dusty wanted to entertain. Even Dusty would do anything to entertain a fan and basically be the American Dream.
Nate, you said earlier on today that Dusty Rhodes was one of your idols. Share a fond memory of the American Dream.
Growing up, I was taught all the greats of wrestling, sort of like John, but mine were a little bit more old school. Mine were like Killer Kowalski, Bruiser Brody. Then Dusty Rhodes came up, so I started talking to the people who were teaching me about wrestling about Dusty Rhodes. They were like, oh, Dusty was this fun-loving guy who loved to have a great time, but he loved his family even more. So I looked up a couple of Dusty Rhodes matches. Actually any of the Dusty Rhodes Tully Blanchard's matches, because those two had such a rich history together that they could go into any match type, and it didn't matter what match type, they could put on the best show for all the fans, and they could really connect with each other. Dusty was and is one of the reasons I am looking to become an actual wrestler, and I'm looking to make Dusty proud.
Key, you better speak on this one. Key.
I don't even think she's there.
I don't even think she is either. Amari, share a fond memory of the American Dream, baby.
Honestly, I don't remember much from Dusty's career. Really, all I can notice that my cousin was a big fan of Dusty Rhodes. He used to always watch his matches. You know, he used to always come over here and play wrestling videos of Dusty Rhodes. But that's the only memory I could share.
Dusty Rhodes was an idol to many. He set the bar for what a professional wrestler and a real mic genius was.
Connor.
Yeah.
Hate to interrupt you real quick. TJ would like to get on here as well.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I guess speak about Dusty.
TJ Shadows. Yeah.
Yes. So, sorry.
Are
about
you
that.
listening to Rihanna right now, John?
I have no music at all.
Who is listening to Rihanna?
I don't know.
It's not no goddamn Rihanna.
I hear, hey mama, and I'm just like, whoa.
That was David Getty, dumbass.
Anyway, TJ,
So,
were you a fan of the American Dream?
out of every inspiration for Heat Fetting I had, he was my biggest one in terms of charisma, so yes.
Share with the world a fond memory of the American Dream, baby.
My fondest memory would probably be the first time I honestly saw a Dusty Rhodes match, and this is probably for a lot of people, his infamous bull rope match against Steve Corino.
Oh, and MLW.
Yeah, when I first heard of Dusty Rhodes, I was under the impression like, oh, he was just this goofy guy, he wasn't really all that. But when I actually watched some of his old matches and like got to hear some of his promos, he was just a guy who could get it done in the ring and still have fun, which a lot of wrestlers seem to take for granted nowadays. So he was the trailblazer when it came to actually treating the business with like
some sort of respect and always having a smile on his face no matter what happened to him. And just, even beside that match, I just always loved Dusty's positive attitude, no matter in what position he was put into.
Hard times, baby, hard times. I loved that promo. Dusty Rhodes, you will forever be missed in the world of professional wrestling and all around the world, as you have left an impact on the hearts and minds of many. But man, we will roll on with the show because, as Dusty would say, if you're gonna pass on by, why not be in a Cadillac, baby? So we're gonna roll on with this show, and we're gonna make it a damn good show. We're gonna step into the E-Fed world for a minute. This past a few hours ago, we were live in Memphis, Tennessee, as DRW brought you Thursday night Smashdown. And this time, man, we were live in Memphis, Tennessee for the first time ever at the FedEx Forum. Stoner, how did it feel showing up to Smashdown for the first time ever in Memphis, Tennessee?
We were in Tennessee.
We were in Memphis, Tennessee.
That's my hometown, damn it.
Oh, God, he doesn't remember partying last night.
Well, I'm sorry, it's a little hard to remember. I remember going backstage. I remember having a drink of something, and I don't quite remember what it was, but I think Nate handed it to me.
Oh, here.
It's Nate. That's how you know you fucked up.
But, none the matter, I remember this one match. The main event. And, let's say I didn't think it was still going on. I thought it got canceled, but things must go on.
DeLeon, welcome to the Dusty Rhodes Memorial.
Oh, am I on there with y'all?
You are on air. I actually just hung up on everybody else because VTech was in that call.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Who all was on the call?
Cole, Taka, Nate, John, Key, Amari, VTech.
So, I got singled out. So are we actually live?
We are live.
So yeah, I'm gonna do a podcast. I was gonna do one this afternoon with Taka. Kind of talk to him about e-fetting stuff, and then of course we heard the horrible, tragic, news of the passing of Dusty Rhodes. I remember growing up, I liked Dusty Rhodes a lot. I was never I'm not gonna sit and go, oh my God, I was such a huge fan of Dusty Rhodes, because that would be a lie. I was never a big fan of Ric Flair, but I always appreciated his body of work. And what most people don't know is that a lot of the guys down here in Florida, on the indies team, we got our start because of Dusty. Dusty had his own promotion in Georgia called Turnbuckle Championship Wrestling. And so a lot of us on the indie scene knew of Dusty. I never met Dusty, but I knew of him. I don't mean I knew, Dusty Rhodes. I knew it was one person removed from having a connection with Dusty, and I never got a connection with Dusty. And then, of course, that's my fault because I did a lot of stupid things back then. But I really liked his body of work. I liked his commitment to professional wrestling. Over the years, I've come to enjoy the classic Dusty Rhodes, the NWA Heavyweight Champion. I wasn't real fond of the polka dot gimmick in the WWF because that was kind of Vince sticking it to him. And Vince did a lot of things to Dusty that I don't know how Dusty got around it, but Dusty finally they made their peace, which Vince seems to make his peace with pretty much everybody. We were talking about that last night. He made him and Bret Hart made peace as well. And Dusty Rhodes is a legacy. Dusty Rhodes is somebody who will always be somebody that will be respected by wrestling fans and wrestlers alike. His legacy will live on, and you can't say enough good things about Dusty Rhodes and what he's done for the wrestling business. Like I said, a lot of people look at Ric Flair as the epitome of the kind of guy that held up the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. But if you ever go back into the annals of time and look at the body of work of the NWA, you have to factor Dusty Rhodes into that. Dusty Rhodes had some wars, and he held that NWA World Heavyweight title with prestige and honor. And as a former retired wrestler myself, I have a ton of respect for Dusty Rhodes, and I just it's sad because bringing up guys like Goldust and Stardust and being able to raise kids in the wrestling business to love the wrestling business and to perform in the wrestling business the way they do, and again to really have a big impact on the future of the professional wrestling business. I think is just something that just you can't take away from that. And again, I'll be looking more at his body of work. I'm also very, very proud of. Now I'm going to frame this.
Yeah, I would frame that bull rope match one.
Yeah. I mean, I always wanted to frame it anyway, but I like the stuff that's inside. There's pictures of Jack Briscoe. There's pictures, it talks about Dusty Rhodes finally forces bull rope match. What I have in my hand for the people that are listening on a podcast, I have an NWA Championship Wrestling Action program from... I can't even tell you the year. It doesn't say it on here. But it's got Dusty Rhodes holding a bull rope match in his hand, and it's from April of whatever year. So, and it says inside, it says Dusty Rhodes finally forced a bull rope match. Dusty Rhodes, though everything was settled, thought everything was settled, Killer Carl Cox had tentatively agreed to a bull rope match. Cox was not extremely happy about the arrangement, but he had given his approval of the event orally. Then Cox apparently had second thoughts. He realized he might have made a dangerous tactical error. What I'm going to do is I'm going to scan the inside and kind of like make it to where people can look at it, but I'm actually going to frame this, and I'm pretty happy about that. I've been happy about that since I got it. So again, it's a sad loss, and I'm not going to sit here and boo-hoo over the fact that he's gone, because number one, he lived an amazing life.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, and to sit here and lie and say that I was a huge fan, I'm not going to disrespect his legacy like that. I wasn't a huge fan. I appreciated his body of work. It's like saying I'm a big Ric Flair. That would be a big pile of shit. I'm not a big Ric Flair fan. I appreciate his body of work. Who I'm a fan of. What I like. I like technical wrestling. Dusty Rhodes again. A great worker, a great worker, great promo artist, but again, it's sad. But I wasn't a huge fan, and I know that you're gonna get those people like, oh my gosh, I love Dusty Rhodes so much. It's like, my wife loved Dusty Rhodes, but she's a big Ric Flair fan, so of course she loved Dusty Rhodes, because when she was coming up and watching wrestling, it was Dusty versus Ric for the NWA World Heavyweight title. I will tell you, one of my favorite Dusty matches is for the NWA Heavyweight Championship in the cage against Ric Flair. That match, if I'm not mistaken, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, that went 12 to 17 minutes, and that was the bloodiest match I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, I think I can talk on and on and on about the legacy of Dusty Rhodes, but I won't, because there's other people on the call.
Yeah.
We're going to do Dusty Rhodes a favor when he would say, if you're going to roll on by, why not be in a Cadillac, baby? we're going to roll on with the show. It was just a few hours ago, Thursday Night Smash, that we were live in Memphis, Tennessee at the FedEx Forum. Huge main event. It was the KSS versus the Sickness. Aaron Youngblood finally shuts down the naysayers when he actually gets the win for the team. Stoner and Rainey falls to the KSS and Aaron Youngblood with Chris Zero. But not everybody's talking about the KSS and the Sickness. They are talking about Steve Starkiller Smith versus Taven Omega. That match, it wasn't the main event, but it was the main event.
Yeah,
Steve Starkiller Smith and Taven stole the show. Taven, talk about this amazing 5-star match.
It was, like I had said before, I had faced Steve Starkiller Smith on multiple occasions. Sometimes he got the better of me. Other times I got the better of him. This was just one of those times where we really didn't have to, like, be in the back and say, like, okay, this thing here, no, this thing there. It was just on instinct because we knew we had to entertain the fans before anything else. And that's what we went out and do. Because that's what we do as professional wrestlers. We know that we're nothing without those fans. So every time we can give something back to them, we do. And it was almost a perfect match, but
Torrance Banks costing you the win, Taven.
It's like I said in that promo, come final face-off, Taven's gone, you're getting the true and living TJ Shadows, and mark me, quote me when I say this, Torrance Banks is going to be bankrupt from the amount of money he has to put into that doctor bill when I'm finished with him. Title or no title, I am putting him away.
Well, look at it like this, Taven. When that match was first announced, it wasn't a big deal. It looked like a squash when you're in. Torrance started making a lot of noise when it got booked. He called you out. You dropped him earlier on the night. He came out and got his revenge. He came out, dropped you with the Banks Driller, and you took the loss to Steve Starkiller Smith. But then Chris DeLeon would make his face known as he walked down the ramp and shook hands with Steve Starkiller Smith. DeLeon, what the hell's going on?
Seriously,
I'm not going to talk about that. What I want to talk about is I want to jump to another Fed, and I want to talk about something else. I really, really want to talk about it because I'm actually seeing this person's face. I have been in this business since 2002, and in all that time, I have never, ever, and I'm shooting when I say this, we talked about this last night, I have never been nervous walking into a match, and I can't even remember the name of the Fed. What is it? Dark Watchtower?
Dark Watchtower Entertainment.
Yeah.
I am facing Kai Morbid.
Key
Morbid, okay. So I said it wrong. I am facing Key Morbid, and I will tell you, I am not even joking. Before she even dropped her first promo, I was nervous because I had seen her body work. And I was like, okay, well, you know, she's good. And I was nervous, and now that she's dropped her promo, I'm even more nervous. So I don't even want to talk about anything else other than my Fed that I got going on the side. But I'll tell you right now, I am legitimately nervous, and if I'll be surprised if I win this match, let alone survive this match. And that is the biggest respect that I can give her, because no man has ever made me that nervous. I've had other guys beat me, but no man has ever struck a nerve, not fear. No man has ever struck a nerve with me before I even stepped in the ring with him, and she has done that.
Key is gonna gank you. Key is gonna gank you.
Honor yourself, else. Well, thank you for the sentiment there. Much appreciated.
Now, Chris, since this is a trend in the wrestling world nowadays, allow me to give you some veteran advice. I can speak from...
Veteran? Really?
Relax, trust me. You're going to want to hear this.
Veteran. You're gonna give me veteran advice.
Hey, take it out of context, dude.
I could give you some veteran advice.
Oh, you can give me some veteran advice. Okay, I really want to hear this.
I'm speaking from experience because I've gone to war with Keem Morbid in the past. No matter if you win or lose, you're going to remember everything about her, from the presence she brings when she walks down that aisle to the pain you feel when she so much as slaps you. In another Fed, I had to go against her in a triple threat match. I'm sure I came out the victor, but I had to take 2 weeks off. One to heal physically and one to heal psychologically. Trust me, you have a right to be nervous. She is literally the female Undertaker.
I totally believe that. Like I said, I've seen what she's capable of, and when I saw that I was booked against her, I thought to myself, let's see, I never back down from a fight. Is this the one time I do? I'm not even joking.
She makes Awesome Kong look like the Bella Twins. And that's saying something.
Keem Morbid is one of the most legendary women in wrestling, along with DMG, Dallas Payne, Susie Spitz. All of those women bring something new to the table every time they step into the ring. And I, for one, am glad I'm not facing Keem Morbid. I get to take the easy road.
Who knows? You might get Keem Morbid versus.
But you have.
I have fought Keem Morbid before.
Next week on Crushdown.
Shut your mouth.
God.
Shut your mouth, Stoner. We're not talking about HOPW. Get the fuck out of here.
Now, what if Stoner has to go against Keem Morbid, huh?
Sure, next week on Smash.
I'll fight her. I'll fight her.
And we've had.
You'll fight her, but she'll kill you.
And
I've already killed Zero.
It's. Oh my God! Shut up.
But I'll kill
Her nephew.
Oh my God. Next week it's Smashdown. The card has not been announced, but I will tell you one thing. Next week we will be. Actually, I still don't even have a place. I was gonna say something, but I totally forgot. Chicago, Illinois, at the Allstate Arena. Is that what it's called?
Yes, the Allstate Arena.
Allstate Arena, Chicago, Illinois. Let the CM Punk chants begin.
Oh no, it ain't CM Punk.
No. If you're gonna be in Chicago, you have to have one match. The Chicago Street Fight.
Hold on, John. What do you want to say?
Okay, I really wanted to get this out of the way real quick. I've been working on this artwork for a while. I'm almost done with it, and what I want to say is on this artwork is that coming this weekend, it's either tomorrow or Saturday, one of the two, the day it's recorded, it will be edited, and it will hopefully be posted up the exact same day. And the reason why I say that is because on that day, it will be myself, Chris DeLeon, and Connor. And if anyone else wants to join, they're more than welcome. But we will be speaking on the biggest controversy in WWE history that has yet to still be solved to this very day, and that is the controversy of Chris Benoit.
Oh yeah, let me get all over it.
Wait, when are we gonna do that? Because I go to work. I go to work in 2 hours. So we should probably do that right after this.
Let's not do that today because I got comic books to read and I got to go to work tonight.
Jeez.
And someone needs to be added to this call.
I got work in the morning.
Yeah, and I got comic books to read, which I have been neglecting for a while. And Connor, you see how big our comic book collection is, and I got to go to work today.
All right, well, this has been.
Right quick, because I'm sorry to interrupt you. Now you said we're in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
And you heard what Nate's trying to say. I think that match that you have for Renegade's Wave, people need to see a preview of that.
Oh God. Oh God.
I think we need a Chicago Street Fight between Nathaniel Faber and the DRW Lock Terror Television Champion TJ Shadows.
All right, this has been Zero Fucks Given Podcast, episode 32. Next week on Smashdown, Chicago Street Fight, Shadows in Faber for the Lock Terror Television Championship. Thank you, and good night.